I've been teaching for over 20 years, and I started in the international circuit, so I was teaching in Japan. I taught in Bangkok for 3 years. I've taught in Barcelona as well. And then more recently, I've been in Ontario for about almost 20 years. And I've been at St. Mike's for 7 years now, running the Media Arts program. When I was hired, the school wanted to take the course in a new direction. It was a course that dabbled in technology, and the school wanted to move the course in a direction more of critical thinking and ideas. So my role has been to move the program in that direction. The main thing that's at the center of my course, both grade 11 and grade 12, is ideas. So we use photography and film, and then with those things, the technology that goes with that. But the idea is that we're using those tools, once we master them, simply as a way of exploring a world of ideas. So we look at politics, we look at history, we look at current events, we look at advertising, we look at graphic design, as well as filmmaking, and as a craft that you do, but also as a cinema studies. We study photography as a documentary pursuit, but also as an art pursuit. So what does photography look like in the context of documentary photography? What does photography look like in the context of fine art photography? So we look at contemporary artists working in the fields, and our work reflects exploring these different ideas. In media arts, we're always using the current technology, so I think that has been consistent. So for example, Photoshop has improved. The tutorials in Photoshop are much better nowadays, but that has been consistent. I think the big shift has been the change that social media has had in the world at large. Years ago in my classroom, we used to do a Facebook assignment about the effects of social media, and it was a very small part of my curriculum. Every year that goes by, and of course this year with the American election, we've seen the proliferation of fake news, we've seen the manipulation of people, et cetera, et cetera. So those kinds of things greatly interest me, and I think it's really essential for my students to be aware of those changes. So that has grown exponentially in terms of how important it's been in my class. All the projects have an element of freedom in them, in that there's not a prescribed assignment. There's open questions. So each student would come up with their own solution about what they think is the most important element in that. Independent thinking, for sure. A sense that their ideas have value. And I think that obviously it's important that they're taking media arts, so they want to learn how to do certain things with photography and video. But I think really what I would want students to come back to me in the future and say, oh, Mr. Escobedo, this was great, is the idea that they're deeper thinkers, and they're questioning, in the context of media, that they're questioning where messages are coming from and how to deal with those messages, and to be aware so that you have more power. It's always a work in progress. I think when you're teaching physics or chemistry, it is not changing very much. You have to go through the curriculum. My curriculum is quite wide open, and I have the luck and the responsibility and the privilege to be able to take things in different directions. And in essence, really, every year is a different year than the year before. So that's something that brings me great pleasure, because I get to do something different all the time. And I try to make that change a reflection of what's currently happening in the world. So I guess in terms of the future, is that when I get to that future and I see what that future is, then we'll examine that future.